Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy. Just want to talk about server versus server that went on over the weekend. It was our server 1429 plus 1525 versus server 1793, and how I got on with obviously trying to improve my trap keep. So let's click into the actual final scores first and foremost before breaking down some of these reports. So you can see we were facing server 1793. We got 34 billion. They got 25 billion. It was a comfortable victory, but it was a comfortable victory, of course, because of Drakeston, who got 19 billion scores on his own. So that just shows you how well Drakeston played in this battle. So now let's have a look at who else finished in the top 10. We got Smoke on 3.3 billion, Blue Killer 2.7. Myself, I managed to get over the 2 billion for the first time with 2.2. Hal got 1.7, Carlos 1.3, Diggsy on 882, Lone Wolf 859, I'm Starks 500, Caffrey 371. And there are the rest of the people that also placed in the scores for this particular server versus server. What I will say is with the zeroing, let's have a look at this first. Just going to do the final scores there all the way down to the bottom for our server, just in case someone wants to see their name on the screen. And that is the final ones for the top 100. In terms of who we were facing, I just want to show you the power of these people. So if we go into here and we go into this one, have a look at the members, and you can see Mix there, 19.3 billion. That was one of the most active players throughout the server versus server. He was the one who, of course, gave me many scores, many battles as well. There was also a K46, which I want to show you, which was in the other alliance. So let's go and quickly have a look at this one. And this was Kane, 36.8 billion. You can see there his monarch level is a 47. I believe he was K46. He may have moved since then. And now let's go and break down some of these scores. So I said I was 0. So let's have a look at this report first going into this. And it was this one here with Mix. Now, there was actually a little bit of a story behind this, because I was, in my opinion, believed, and this was the first attack I received, and I got instantly zeroed from Mix. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? My trap keep is not doing anything at all. And I was scratching my head trying to find out what's gone on. These were the scores: 1.3 billion, 328. I went into the troop buff, which also shared some interesting reports, because I thought, although this is decent, it shouldn't really have zeroed me. So I was really scratching my head, and you can see my debuffs as well on the ranged as well, which isn't too bad. It's getting better as we go along. And it was actually someone else who pointed it out to me, because when we went into the actual breakdown, someone turned around and says, what happened? Was that the second report? And I was like, no, it's the first report. Don't know what's going on. And they went, but you've got nothing more than T3. And that's exactly when the penny dropped. I realised what I'd done. It was quite simply down to the fact that prior to the server versus server starting, wasn't really thinking, sent my troops out to the Alliance mine, which actually took all of my layers from T3 and above all into there. So when he came and attacked me, there was only T3 and lower, and of course the damage was already done. So obviously from there I was then like, okay, this is a little bit crazy. So you can see this report here. This one is obviously different, still very damaging in respect to what was sent at me, but obviously a lot fairer in terms of the scores that we matched up. And then if I just go again into the troop buff, you will see that 3,400 is again what was sent at me, but this time, like I say, it was a lot better in terms of all my layers were there and a more realistic report. Now, Mix actually was sending something I actually haven't come across, which is a trap march. Apparently now Drakeston also uses the same thing. Mix also uses the same thing. So this is a trap march. So let's go and have a look at that as well very quickly and have a look at exactly what was sent. So in terms of what's being sent, you can see here that we have 225,000 of the ground troop. We have 1.7 million of the T15 range troops being sent. But again, when you go down, you can see there's actually bigger layers of all the different types. So obviously this is now something that people are doing. They're breaking breaking down with these trap marches, and you can also see as well there 22,000 in terms of all the different layers as well. So this is something that I haven't come across before. This is something that I need to speak to Drake and Caffrey and other members of my alliance. But if you something you've come across and actually there's something that I need to do different in terms of how I'm setting up with my layers, then please do let me know in the comments. Now, when we talk about the scores that I finished on 2 billion. That was obviously down to the fact that Drakeston had already put us so far ahead in the server versus server. It allowed a few of us, including myself, to go and obtain those higher scores. I think we had at one point something like a 12 billion lead. So Mix was sending a few more at me so that I could then also help him with his scores, but also help me in terms of where I've got. So you can see there's quite a few reports from the defenses won with Mix. Also as well, he was zeroing me because he was sending a second march, and you can see with that second march I was getting destroyed. So again, although I said zeroed once, it was zeroed once where I shouldn't really have been zeroed, but it was 2 marches from Mix was zeroing me every time. So that is something that I need to be aware of. What I know I need to do now because of that is obviously come up with a strategy to deal with this trap march that people are sending as an attack. Also as well, once that first attack is sent, is taking that hit, jumping straight away so that second march doesn't come in. It's been a while since I've been playing this and I was a little bit rusty in terms of how I was doing things, so that second march was always hitting, but this is something that I won't allow to happen in the future. So that is our server versus server. I'll also be taking part in the different battlefields as well to obviously get some more practice. And another thing I'm doing as well is I've gone into my subordinate generals, and this is an area now that I'm improving. I've got Narcissus, I've got Darius. They are both ground troop debuffs, and no one is really going to be sending a ground troop march at me. I'm now replacing these with Andrew Jackson from the Tavern and Arminius, whichever one's come out first, and then trying to level these up so that you can see again when we go into their breakdown. And the idea is taking this to that level 4 eventually, so that I'm getting 40% debuff on the range. Like I say, the other ones are pointless. There's no reason for them to be there. I'm not going to get attacked by ground. And I'm also thinking of potentially changing my subordinate cities. It's going to be a long time before I am in a position to attack. I'm going to be defense for a very long time, may even be permanently. So this is something else that I'm considering doing, changing a few of my Japans that I've got with Valerian, with some Russias. The other thing that I was able to do with the 2 billion was obviously, of course, going into the Senate. And when we go into the Senate, you can see I was able to unlock the next one on here, which is new. So this one was unlocked at the weekend, and then of course I've got 2 now on this, 2 out of 4. And also because I reached 2 billion for the first time, I was able to get 1 of the 6 needed for the final one there. So still a bit of work to do. That was server versus server against 1793. I will see you in another video very, very soon. Like I say, if you do know what to do in relation to that trap march that was sent at me, please do let me know in the comments. And if you've noticed anything else that can also be improved, please do let me know that. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.